All right, all right. Hello, all you sports fans out there in podcast land, and welcome once again to another edition of Babbling Brooks, your new favorite podcast, where I, your host Brooks, try to bring you some of today's sports news with just a little twist on my point of view. Hope you're all having a wonderful week so far. Doing pretty good. Just a long ass day yesterday. The double kicked my ass, throwing me off. A lot has happened with our beloved Braves. Start out with the bad news. Ozzie, Albie's going to the injured list. Seemed like it was just precautionary the other day when they first took him out of the game. Just kind of late in the game. Don't want to, risk anything really. And then next thing you know, he's on the 10-day injured list after getting held out of the lineup once. Nicky Lopez getting a start, and went from being a cramp in the hamstring to a hamstring strain. So hopefully he won't be on there more than the minimum. It'll just be a 10-day thing. And it sucks it happened, but like I said, it doesn't seem very like a serious strain. The fact that didn't diagnose it as a strain initially maybe could be a good sign. And so again, I know someone was like, oh, he's just on the 10-day IL. I'm like, yeah, the 10-day can turn to the 60 quick. But in this case, it doesn't appear that will be the case. And the great thing about the Braves is, they've got, some talent. Look what Nicky Lopez did. We'll talk more about his, impressive first two starts as a Brave. The other day, when he had pitched a scoreless inning of relief and had like 5 RBIs, including a home run. We'll talk more about what he does game one of this Yankees series. But so having him out there and having a bat like he does, and the fact he can play second base pretty damn well, really got a good defensive, history. And everybody players. It's one of those guys, just like a lot of players, just seem to play better when they play with his team. It's like playing with these dudes, like being in this clubhouse, just like rubs off on guys. And the good thing about it, it's better to have this happen now in the middle of August than to have this happen at the end of September or in October. So it gives you a chance to get everything taken care of, and maybe you do a little try to figure some stuff out and see who could end up on that playoff roster. Maybe make some decisions about the extra guys, because you're gonna get a little more room on the roster when that happens. I was kind of surprised, Vaughn Grissom coming up, obviously not a surprise. As soon as Ozzie went to injured list, it was obvious, because fucking Vaughn Grissom, you gotta respect that, everybody thought he was gonna be, Braves starting shortstop potentially this year. And Orlando Arcia earned that and has done a phenomenal job. But Vaughn Grissom went down there to AAA. He didn't go down there and sulk or, feel sad and sorry for himself. He went out there and he's been hitting the damn ball like really damn good. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the lineup today for the final game of this Yankees series. Now that the Braves have won the first 2 games, Nicky Lopez starting. At some point you would think they'll give him a couple starts just to see how he's, going to look against Major League hitting. Because potentially, like I said, I could see him being brought up, put on the playoff roster, being an extra bat off the bench. Because if everybody healthy, obviously he's not going to play. But it could be really damn good experience for him to be around a potential World Series run in the clubhouse. Like showing what he can do with a bat at AAA. And AAA is AAA. It's not in the major leagues, obviously. But it's the next closest thing. And I believe, he was hitting the ball. Look what he did last year. And they still got some work to do defensively, but damn, he can play. He can swing a damn bat. There ain't no doubt about that. And I still think it's worth looking into how he could potentially maybe play in the outfield. Like somebody in left field. Eddie Rosario has, done a really damn good job for us. But long term, he's probably not the solution. Same thing with Ozuna at DH. Talk more about it, but Ozuna right now is a 13-game hitting streak. Not something you expect, not the kind of guy you expect to be a streaky hitter. But that's twice this year where he's had at least 13-game hitting streak. So, like I said, it could be worse. It kind of sucks to see, always, anytime, especially after last year with Ozzie in 2019, in 2021 or whatever with Ronald. You just worry anytime you see some sort of injury like this to a really important player. Especially Ozzie had played every single game so far this year. We still got 3 Braves that have done that. Acuna, Olsen, and Austin are the ones left at that. Still pretty damn impressive. It's like more than half the guys. I think it's like half or more of the guys that have done that total in the league this year are the Braves players, even without Ozzie doing it. So, that'd be good. Ozzie get a little rest, make sure everything nice and healthy. And like we've talked about injuries with this team before, like with Max Fried returning, it's like that's the great thing it seems like about this team is that they just when you have that kind of depth that they have, you can take it easy, take the extra precautions, and take your time with these injuries. And some of it could be an opportunity to see what some of these other guys have to offer. Because another move that was made that kind of surprised a lot of people, but I can sort of see the logic in it. Forrest Wall, who had recently got his first major league hit, had his 2 stolen bases when he first came on as a pinch runner in his first major league appearance. Got a lot of promise, really fast kid. He got sent down to AAA, and Lucas Williams got called up. He's played with the Dodgers and a couple other teams. I can't remember if it was a trade or we just picked him up off waivers or something. But he's been down there in AAA. And he's listed as an outfielder, but he is a more versatile position-wise. And he has definitely played, I think, about every position. I know he's played a lot of infield as well as outfield. So I think that was probably related to the Ozzie injury because Forrest Wall, as far as I know, is not an infielder at all. I mean, I'm sure he's capable of playing at a certain level, but I'm not sure. Like, I've never heard him mentioned as that. But Luke Williams, I've seen as like a second baseman, like a third baseman. He's done it all a little bit, but I feel like infield and a couple outfield, middle infield and outfield corner probably where he would have some potential. But with Ozzie out, just giving him a chance maybe to get a couple at bats. I wouldn't see him starting necessarily, but maybe come in late in the game, try to change something, and to give him a chance to see if he could earn a spot potentially on a postseason roster. But I don't expect him to stick around because, he's just a crowded team, and he doesn't have quite the upside as a player like Vaughn Grissom, like whenever Ozzie does get back and healthy, even with the playoff roster. But I'm sure the Braves would still like to, see what they got in the dude. And some other stuff. So, yeah, that's the bad stuff, the bad news. But seems like, it's going to be something quick with Ozzie. Hopefully get him back soon. But fun fact, the last 6 games, including last night's game, the Braves going up against, just the 2 New York teams, the Mets and the Yankees, the Braves have outscored both teams 56-13 in the 6 games. The Braves starters, after having a rough stretch, a rough run through the rotation, Braves starters are 5-1 in those last 6 games. Max Fried looked a little, didn't look good at first, right out the gate. I'm like, oh no, here we go, Max. It was just a fluke. I was starting to worry it was a fluke getting back healthy, but nope. Max is like, I'm here, don't worry. Because it got a little rocky to start out. The Yankees started to score in the first. Bases loaded, ground out, just like that. It's 1-0. But Austin Riley, it's like, I don't like being down 1-0. Braves score more runs in the first inning than any other team in Major League Baseball has scored in any other inning, and it's not even really close. The way they score in the first, and it just sets a tone for the game. Like, you're not always gonna win when you score first. Shit, the Yankees scored first in this one, just because they hit first. But it gives you that extra edge when you can score, put runs on the board in any inning consistently. And the Braves can go off, just like that, it feels like, in any inning. But the fact is, it's happened way more in the first. And one reason that happens a lot, is Ronald Acuna. But this time, it wasn't doing it. This time, it was Austin Riley. Ronald Acuna, gets it going in the second game of this series. And I'm not really going to talk much about the loss to the Mets, maybe briefly at the end, just because that was a few days ago. I don't like talking about 3 games at once. And hey, we're dwelling on happy shit other than the Ozzie injury, But Austin Riley coming up. immediately responding to the Yankees' run scoring, tied it up with home run number 29 on the season. Braves are we're gonna end up with at least 4 dudes with 30 home runs, maybe more, if Ozzie, keeps a short stint on the injured list. But the Yankees, coming right back, gotta give them credit. Kenner Falefa had RBI single. He was the one that scored the run in the first, and in the second, he's the second run. The Yankees are leading again. It's 2-1. I started thinking, it's like, damn, man, we're gonna lose to the Yankees. They're last place in their division. They're on a not too great streak right now. But the Braves just took over. The Braves took over from there. Max Fried locked it down pretty much after that. Gives up 8 hits throughout the game. Only manages to give up 2 runs though. Walks a guy, strikes out a couple. It's really, it's really good to see Max Fried back. And, see him, have his first kind of rough outing, come out in this one, not look great at first, and then just come through. I guess take it with a grain of salt because the Yankees right now are floundering. They are terrible right now. Aaron Judge came back, but probably not quite ready to come back. Maybe come back a little too early. But Max Fried is now 4-1 on the season. And we talked about Nicky Lopez and what he has contributed to this team. This was his second start as a Brave. Has 2 RBI singles. One in the second, one in the third. He's 3 of 4 in this one. In his first 2 starts as a Brave, like his first 4 games, I think, overall, this dude was 7 of 10 in these first 2 starts. And 8 RBIs. 8 RBIs. He even got a stolen base. His 5th of the season. It was just like, guys come to the Braves and they just play better than they did with the other team. Not that he was playing bad, but you can't say it doesn't seem like a noticeable improvement. Just like being in the clubhouse, like I said, it's rubbing off on these guys. It's like, man, I gotta pick it up, and a lot of that goes to his great coaching staff. Cranitz on the pitching coach. I just went blank on the hitting coach. I know it. I know the hitting coach's name. This is really annoying me because I literally had it in my head. It just popped right out. There we go. Kevin Seitzer. I know something. Yeah, these guys just they just do a great job. Then you got Eric Young, Ron Washington, man, just what a coaching staff. Brian Snitker holding it all together. But yeah, Nicky Lopez, man, what a start to his tenure as a Brave. And it makes you like, yeah, it sucks Ozzie's out, but it's really cool seeing this kid do his thing as well. And it's, good for the Braves. Good for him. He could earn himself a deal somewhere else in the future and maybe help us win a World Series. Because even everybody healthy, yeah, he's not going to be starting. But, it's always nice to have a pinch hitter, a quality pinch hitter. You need that in the postseason, especially. That some of the clutch moments can come just from a guy coming off the bench. So, get ready and stay ready. Stay ready, don't got to get ready. And, this guy could do good now, but it'd be cool to, see what he could do as a pinch hit bat. Same with Vaughn Grissom. That's a nice combo to have on your bench in the postseason. If you find a way to get both of them as your backups with, like I said, the extra roster space. The kind of cool options to have off the bench. And one of the different things about Ozzie always being out, because, Nicky Lopez, you're not going to just put him in the same place in the lineup. So they put him at number 9, and then Michael Harris hitting second in these games. Cool to see him doing his thing. 1 of 3. Has adding on to the scoring in the second inning there after Nicky Lopez. Michael Harris the second with an RBI single. Man, it's great to see Michael Harris in just the year he has had after how bad he was hitting early on, dealing with multiple injuries, missing some games, maybe trying too hard, trying to, adjust to everyone else adjusting to him after having an off season, and for him to just turn it around and be like, y'all, I am not going to have a sophomore slump. Or if I am, it ain't lasting more than a month or 2. And he has just been on a tear. It's a 1-3, not like crazy, like, oh my God, but just finding ways to contribute and get it done on a consistent basis. And year 2, and I think this guy's going to be a long-term all-star. And it'll be interesting to see if they just move him back to number 9 when Ozzie comes back, or if Snicker does some more adjusting and maybe because you like having him at 9, but also you wouldn't mind having a top of the lineup, Acuna, Harris, Ozzie, and then Austin or Olsen, which you don't want to mess with it too much because what Riley and Olsen have done at 3 and 4. So maybe just an experiment to see how Michael Harris II responds to that. Might not be any results from that. Might just be he just goes straight back to 9. And I don't really have a problem with it. Normally you would like 9. It's like whatever, but like that only matters really in the first, because after the first time through the lineup, after that, Michael Harris is leading off for Ronald Acuna anyway. So maybe it doesn't necessarily matter. But, Snicker, man, he's just really smart coach. You might just be seeing how Harris responds, is kind of switching it up a little bit. And the Braves, they ended up scoring 11 runs in this game. They just kept pouring it on after the initial sort of back and forth of the first 2 innings. After the Braves come out with the Yankees after they scored their second run, the Braves were like, well, scoring 1 run wasn't enough. So they added 3 runs in the second. Then added 4 more runs in the third. So just totally swings the game around. I remember I was watching, I was like, man, this is going to be a little too iffy. I'm worried about our win streak ending, and then the Braves just keep pouring it on. 8-2 after the third inning. And then just in case, Riley's like, I'm scoring a wild pitch. Extra run in the 6th. And then Eddie Rosario, who's 3 of 5 in this game, scored 3 times. Ends up with 4 RBIs. Gets 2 of those RBIs in the 8th inning on a home run to give the Braves all the runs and then some that they would need. Just a little extra insurance. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Braves go up 11-2. And the Yankees did add on a run in the 9th. But at that point, it was over. 1 run is like whatever at that point. If you're the Braves, you can have a run, Yankees. So final score 11-3. Braves get their win. And looking pretty damn good in the process. Marcell Ozuna, this was his 12th game getting a base hit in a row. Talked about he gets a 13-game streak in the next game in this series. He's 2 of 3, scores 3 times. Matt Olson, 2 of 3, walks twice, 0 strikeouts. Just so impressive how he's been able to adjust and hit more home runs and not striking out hardly at all. See, Orlando, 1 of 5 in this one with an RBI. Scored a run. Did strike out 3 times, but still, getting some runs across there. Ronald Acuna kind of had a quiet game in this one, only 1 of 3, 2 walks. He was saving up some for game number 2. Braves looking pretty good in this one. Runners in scoring position, 5 of 12, including Nicky Lopez, 2 of 2. Max, just gotta love him overcoming kind of the struggles out the gate, finding ways to have a quality game. Pierce Johnson pitching a couple scoreless innings, 2 hits and a strikeout. Joe Jimenez finishing it up. Get up and hitting a run, but, the run was whatever at that point. Walked 1 and struck out 2 in the 9th to finish off the Yankees in that one. It's a great start to a series. Coming back home. Great start to a homestand in general after playing the Mets up there in Flushing and flushing them, except for that last game. But that's whatever, We 3 or 4, man. 3 or 4 is pretty damn good for the road team, especially the way we kick their ass. But game 2 of this Yankees and Braves series, the Braves would shut out the Yankees 5-2 zip. Talked about the Braves in the last 6 games. Starting pitchers are 5-1. The Braves 56-13 run-wise. And in that time, half of their games have been shutouts of their opponents. Just not only can they hit the ball so damn good, but this pitching staff, it looked rough for a second. That's the thing. It's a long ass season. That's gonna happen. Sometimes you're just gonna have that happen. Let me get a quick water drink. I'm parched. Deal with it. Deal with it. I'm like Pink Floyd. Deal with it. I'm wearing a Pink Floyd shirt. I should do that. We have Bryce Elder after a couple rough starts, when we said it's like he's like 2 on, 2 off with his like performances and his starts, and so that means this is the first of 2 good starts for Bryce Elder. Looked really damn good, pitching 7 innings of shutout baseball, and only allowed 1 hit total in this entire game. And then the Braves bullpen, they didn't give up any hits. So the Braves 1 hit the Yankees in this one. And yeah, the Yankees ain't playing great right now, but honestly, yeah, not as impressive as a no-hitter, duh. But a 1-hitter, that's tough to do in today's game. Especially 3 different pitchers. Usually at some point, a team like the Yankees will break through a little bit more on you. But really good job for Bryce Elder. You can tell, he's like had to work through some stuff. And it's encouraging after a rough starts like that, come back like this, to keep coming back after hard, outcomes, and not let him like sink your season, which is good, man. Because Bryce Elder, maybe he's not gonna get his ERA back where it was beginning of the season when he was pitching like an ace. But we don't need him to pitch like an ace. We got our ace back. We got Max Fried. We got Spencer Strider. Just need Bryce Elder to be Bryce Elder and get dudes out, and he's been able to do that. A lot of his starts, not every time, but hey, man, you're gonna take your dings in this game. It's a rough one. Everybody has the rough stretch here and there. Even the best ever, it's just gonna happen. You can't avoid the pitfalls totally. Not in a game where the best in the game are hitting 30%. And then even with pitching, man, that's tough. You're going up against really damn good guys, so occasionally they're gonna get you. But not in this one. Bryce Elder getting his 9th win of the season. He's got a 3.46 ERA, 7 shutout innings. Walked 3 guys. Like I said, only the 1 hit, so 4 total base runners for him. And only struck out 1, but that's the thing. He's never going to be a big strikeout guy. That's just not who he is. Some guys, Spencer Strider, get plenty of strikeouts for the both of them. But Bryce Elder, he's all about just that, getting that right kind of contact, and he did that in this one fairly often. Guys get on base, and then they get out. The Braves turning 4 double plays in this one. Big part why there's a shutout. Because they gives you a chance. You give teams extra outs. That's extra opportunities to do some damage on you. And you just can't do that. That's what's so important about putting teams away and getting every out you can. And what's so great about having an amazing defense. And then you got a guy like Nicky Lopez who can just step in for Ozzie Albies, and you're not really getting much defensive drop-off. So you can feel confident in putting them out there. And that is one of the issues with Von Grissom. Not quite as strong defensively, but he can swing a damn bat, so I'm sure we'll be seeing him too. But Nicky Lopez was 0-4, so back down to earth after 2 incredible starts as a Brave. But he's still part of those 4 double plays, each and every one of them. So, hey, man, that counts because you give him, even one of those guys can get on there. Next thing you know, like maybe the Yankees are able to knock some runs across and change the tenure of this game. And this game the Braves had 6 hits total, but it was mostly about 2 of them. Talked about Marcell Ozuna extending his hitting streak to 13 games. He did that bright and early in this game. Ronald Acuna leading off the game with a single. And next thing you know, he's on third base. Like, I looked away for a second. I looked back. I'm like, how the hell is Ronald on third? Did he steal 2 bases? Apparently, Luis Servino has had a rough season. He was on my fantasy team at one point, and it was too rough of the year. I had to give up on him. But he tried to pick Ronald off, and it was a wild ass throw that just like bounced off the wall, went back into the outfield. Excuse me. And next thing you know, Ronald Acuna's on third base. You get like Riley struck out, Olsen walking, of course. Marcell Ozuna, he didn't just hit a home run. He hit a 442-foot dinger. Marcell Ozuna just blistering it. Just like that, it's a 3-0 lead. And you're like, well, I guess Ronald didn't need to get to third, but the thing is, that was a big part of it. He was in that pitcher's head. And maybe not that hard, because it's been a rough year for Servino. It's been a rough year for the Yankees. I think, like, this is the latest in the season. They've been under 500 in like 30 years or something. Good for them. Ha ha! But, yeah. So Ronald Acuna just in the pitcher's head from the start. And the dude can't even stop focusing on him. And, yeah, some guys will try to keep him on first. But that's usually not a throw that's going to be wild. So that just showed Ronald getting in dude's head. Wild throw. And he didn't just get one base. He takes two. It takes two, baby. Me and Ronald Acuna. Not like that. No, there's anything wrong with it. But yeah, not like that. So yeah, Acuna and Olsen coming home on Ozuna's home run. And just what a hitting streak for Ozuna. 13 straight games. Not necessarily what you expect from him. But he'll have these little cold stretches. And then he comes out just hot as hell. Like Hansel. And the Braves weren't done hitting home runs just yet. Because, Ronald Acuna, he's like, you know what? I hadn't hit a homer, a few days. Itching. He's fiending to hit the shit out of a ball. And he does. He tags one 420 feet, bro. 5-zip Braves in the fourth. And so it would stay. Braves didn't need to do no more. No more. AJ Minter and Kirby Yates coming out, both pitching hitless innings. No more runs, shutout. Braves finish it off. And just what a game. That was home run number 24 on the season for Marcell Ozuna. I mean, 30 homers is in reach for him. Acuna. I forgot to mention Austin Riley. With the homer in the last game. 7 homers in those 10 games. Now, 11 games. Still, pretty damn impressive. Look at his home runs over the last month or so compared to his home runs for the season. He's just really opening it up. And like I said, very, very, one more. He's hit 30. He can do that today. And Acuna's not too far off from 32. That home run was 27 on the season for him. With 55 stolen bases. I think the last player to do that was Ricky Henderson. The legend, leadoff legend, Ricky Henderson. Man, that's what we need. We need to get Ricky and Ronnie together. That'd be a cool photo op. I think Ricky, man, he'd be so interesting to talk to. Oh, Ricky Fast. I think you see he talks in third person like that. Be great. So yeah, Ozuna in this one, 2 of 2. He walked twice. So not only is he getting on base with hits, he's just slugging the shit out of the ball time to time. He's also being smart, paying attention, watching the ball, good eye, getting on base. Ronald Acuna, 2 of 5, scoring twice. 1 homer, being on base for the other. Hitting .338 on the season. Not a lot from the other guys offensively because that was all we needed in this one. Harris, 1 of 5. Olsen, 1 of 3. Everybody else kind of shitty, but, Riley 0 of 4, but 7 homers in the 10 previous games, so he's all right. You can't do it every game. Like I said, sport where the best players are hitting 30-some%. So that means you're going to have some offers. Orlando Arcia, 0 for 4, and Nicky Lopez, like we mentioned, 0 4. But both those dudes involved in some of the, Lopez, all the double plays, Arcia, a couple of them. So they're getting stuff out of them. And highlight, the Yankee guy you expected to see the most out of. So far, Aaron Judge, 2 of 6 with 2 walks in this series. But he also not fully healthy. He's trying to come back, toe injury, but you can tell he's not quite full. Can't really go full speed, put full weight on that. It showed in a ground out that Orlando took care of him on in this game. And we do have Charlie Morton on the mound tonight for the Braves in the series finale before the Giants come to town. The other New York team, or one of the other New York teams, historically at least, the New York Giants. The reason people still to this day say New York Football Giants is because the San Francisco Giants, for all of you, I'm sure everybody knows this at this point, but they started out in New York. It's weird to think because now it's like the Dodgers and the Giants have been in California for so long. But to think a time before the Mets, the Yankees, the New York Baseball Giants, and the Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers. What a legend. What a time, man. They had teams in the World Series for so many years. You'd have a lot of New York battles. The Yankees either facing the Giants or the Dodgers. That'd been cool to see some games like that. Jackie Robinson, the legend. Yeah, Sandy Koufax pitching, and they go out west, baby. Yes, Sandy was when they went out west. But either way, the Giants will be coming to town. But first, we got one more game against the Yankees. They're not below 500 yet, but they's about to be 60-60, and I feel pretty good about the Braves' chances finishing off a sweep in front of the home crowd. Which I should I guess knock on wood, because I feel like every time I say that, as soon as the Braves just shit the bed, make me look stupid. I'm sick of it. I'm just kidding. Man, I don't like looking stupid, but actually I don't care. Because I know I ain't stupid. I'm just a fucking idiot. But aren't we all? So let's see if they've announced the lineups for today yet. Because I'm curious to see if, I wouldn't be surprised to see Von Grissom in the lineup. But yeah, we got Charlie Morton on the mound, 11-10 right now. What did he do last time out? Last time out, yeah, that was right. We shut out the Mets 7-0 after 4 losses in a row in his starts. Braves looking like, looked a little better last time out, so that's encouraging, especially the way this Yankees team looks. Like, you feel like you got a good chance. But Yankees trying to end their, 4-game losing streak. Sitting there. They've lost 7 of their last 10. 14 games now behind the first place Orioles. 3.5 games behind the 4th place Red Sox. So they're falling further in and out, mostly just out of contention. For shit. The Braves 12.5 games up on the fucking Phillies. The Phillies have lost 3 in a row. I love it. I fucking love it. The Braves 2-game winning streak after losing that last game of the series against the Mets. But 7 of the last 10, they have won. 15 games up on the Marlins, who have split their last 10. Mets lost 6 of the last 10. They're 23.5 games back. Ha, ha, ha. Braves still got the best record in baseball with 77 wins, only 42 losses. Next best is the Orioles, first place in the aforementioned American League East. They are 74-46 with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 3 games back at 72-50. Both of those teams lost last night, while the Jays and the Sox both have won 2 in a row, but there's a little bit of cushion there, so Orioles and Rays look like they'll be battling it out for that division. Minnesota on a 3-game winning streak, putting their playoff percentage in the 91%. They are 4.5 up on Cleveland now. Cleveland's won a couple, though. They've lost 6 of their last 10, but they've won 2 in a row. And they better start winning soon. We need Jose Ramirez to hit more than Tim Anderson. I'm sure he has been. I just wanted to say that. But they're gonna need some big hits from Jose. I'm sure he'll bring them, but going to really need to amp it up down the stretch if they want to have a chance. Because their playoff percentage down to 8.5%. So they can change that if they can start catching up with the Twins. But they're running out of time. Same with the Tigers. They've lost a couple in a row after looking like they could have a chance. Down to 0.4% playoff percentage. Texas, another one of the top teams in baseball. Them Rangers, 72 wins, 3.5 games up on the reigning world champion Astros. They have won last 8 of their 10 games, the Rangers, so good for them. The Mariners ended their winning streak, but they still won 7 of the last 10. They got to amp it up. Their playoff percentage is sitting right below 30%. They're 7.5 games behind the Rangers. Let's go. The Angels, it's been rough ever since the trade deadline. Everybody's going in on them for not trading Shohei. They've lost 7 of the last 10, 13.5 out of first place. Only ahead of the terrible A's in their division. The team that is intentionally sucking because the owner wants to move the team. They're 39 games out of first place in their division. 39 games! That's insane. 87 losses for the A's, only 33 wins. Already talked about the National League East. In the Central, you've got the Brewers 3.5 up despite losing last night because the Cubs lost 2 in a row and have split their last 10 games evenly. So the Orioles' playoff chances going up. After Dansby and the Cubs were kind of surging, you can't forget about the Reds. They are tied statistically with the Cubs, like slightly behind them percentage-wise, but both 3.5 games behind the Brewers. But the playoff percentage for the Cubs is 30% higher than the Reds right now. So we'll see if Ellie De La Cruz and company can get the Reds on a little bit of a run. Then you got the Pirates and the Cardinals, both tied last place in that division 11 games back. But they both actually won some games. Cardinals on a 3-game winning streak. The biggest record in a winning streak in baseball right now is the Dodgers. Still not enough to catch up to the Braves, but they're trying, man. So the Braves got to keep winning. Have a home field advantage all through the playoffs. They have, and the Dodgers have won 9 in a row. Their run differential going way up. Still not as big as the Braves, but Freddie Freeman has them on a tear. And they are 9 games up on the Giants. Man, I remember that was a lot closer. Giants have lost 7 of the last 10. Actually, everyone in the National League West but the Dodgers has lost 7 of the last 10. Literally 3 wins for each team in the last 10 games. At least the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres finally won a game. But, man, it's just crazy to think the Padres thought they were going to be competing in this division. I thought they would win this division once Fernando Tatis got back. You know, having Juan Soto, Manny Machado, all these other dudes. But maybe they need Tatis for a whole season to really make it work. And they just not been able to string together wins enough. They're 16 games behind the Dodgers. The Diamondbacks, were the surprise first-place team for a while, and that didn't last. So we'll see what happens here. The Braves will be playing, of course, finale of this series tonight, hopefully getting the win. Panthers will be get some more preseason action, taking on the Giants up in Jersey this weekend. Of course, kind of Panthers related. Michael Oher, who was with the Panthers at one point, has come out saying that the Tuhoy family, from the Blind Side story, whatever. I never saw the movie. It kind of looked dumb, and I remember a couple of years ago when he was with the Panthers, he didn't really say anything like go in specific, but you could tell he was some stuff he was uncomfortable with about the movie because I guess it kind of makes him look retarded, even though he was not like mentally deficient in any way. And he obviously didn't like that sort of like the white savior mentality. Sandra Bullock, the white Christian lady here to save you, poor black people kind of thing. Which ends up just using way too many tropes, stereotypes, that kind of stuff, and the kind of story just looks dumb. Just like trying to just. It does seem like they took advantage of him. They're coming out saying he's like trying to blackmail them for like $15 million. I'm like, well, how is like the guy that played in the NFL trying to get y'all for this? If in any money you made off this movie is because of this situation. And I guess it sounds like they told him he was adopted, or at least it was the same as being adopted, but he was never adopted. It's a conservatorship, even though he was like an adult. So it was like they had control of some of his financial decisions. Of course, the conservatorship, mostly we think about with like the Britney Spears situation kind of thing, where they were saying she wasn't mentally fit to make decisions. So it sounds like the family may have tricked him into sort of signing up, being like at least sort of misleading him. Because I was watching this one clip, I can't remember if it was on the Dan Batard show. I can't remember who it was talking. Just saying how, the daughter of the family is like an influencer. They're saying, well, would she be able to be an influencer without this story? The mom making big money, as a motivational speaker. And, yeah, I don't know. You could just tell, to me, I believe Michael Oher because he hinted at this before. It wasn't like he was always like, yeah, I love it. You could tell he didn't really like his portrayal in that movie, but he didn't seem like he wanted to go in too much. But it seems like maybe he found out some more stuff, and I'm sure there's some sort of paper trail, so it should all be able to be verified. But I'm on his side in this one. Keep pounding, Mr. Oher. Get your what you deserve, brother. But either way, that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna call it a day, and I gotta figure out some stuff with my phone and stuff like that. Try to enjoy my day off because I am tired. Hey man, hope you all have a great day. Check back tomorrow, first thing. Have some more babbling. Brooks, talk about this last game of the Yankee series. See how it goes. See how Uncle Chuck going to look out there on the mound. Who gets to go in the lineup card. But hope you all have a great day. Come back for more of your new favorite podcast every day. Babbling Brooks 84 on Instagram. Follow me. Subscribe. All that bullshit. Spotify. Check me out on YouTube occasionally. Not videos yet, but videos of the podcast if you'd rather listen on YouTube instead of Spotify. Some versions are over there. But hey, man, that's enough for today. Y'all, got to come back and maybe pay to get more of this Brooks shit today because I'm tired. So have a good day. Come back for more. Peace out.